All right. All right. Welcome, everyone. Just waiting on everybody to get in. All right.
Give me a couple minutes to start.
Mm-hmm. Couple minutes to start. All right. All right. All right. Yes. 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 Whew. How you feeling, Ty?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good, Boots?
Yeah, I think so for the most part.
Okay. Okay.
How you feeling?
Okay. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good.
How was work today?
Busy as ever, more training. It's actually awesome. Actually, it's really really good. I had a good person I was training today. Had a really good person to train. He was really intelligent and pretty cool guy. So it was nice training him. He got it all together and he. And it was funny. I tell you, it was fun. So I really enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, my day was crazy. These cases coming in like crazy, so you just go with the flow.
You have to like really figure out like what's going on with the kids or what, like how you would put it as like for what's going on in the world today with the kids and technology of like the parents and how they parenting.
We don't tell people how to parent. That's one thing we can't not do is tell people how to parent.
Right.
What we do is assess safety,
Okay.
right? Make sure kids are safe, food.
Right.
There are some, circumstances that go a little bit beyond that, but for the most part, we're assessing safety.
Okay.
Sounds easier said than done.
Right.
But, when you go into these homes and you see, these underlying conditions, it becomes a whole different ballpark. So,
right.
It could be exhausting and draining, but when you keep in mind like what's your ultimate goal to keep kids safe, right? People don't understand that, and that's just another topic in another episode or conversation.
Most definitely.
We can go most definitely get into it because I get a lot of questions about my field and what I do, and I get it.
Right.
I get it, and I'm always willing to answer questions because people don't understand. They got this notion and perception about what I do and what the field I'm in, that we out to make money.
Yeah.
That's not the case. But again, that's a whole nother.
It's all about the kids.
It's all about the kids. As long as these kids are safe, they fed, they're not experiencing domestic violence, substance abuse, mental illness, and some type of mental developmental disabilities, then hey, they're safe. And so that's why it's an investigation.
Okay. All right.
So, but yeah.
Okay.
So much work, I love what I do, and I get out there and get it done. I get cursed out, but hey, it's all right.
All right. Okay. Well, guys, listen. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to our podcast, Unspoken Truth Podcast. I am your girl, Southern Beauty Kiki, country girl Kiki.
And I'm your girl, Boots.
Thank you so much for welcoming. Please like, share.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you could, that would be great if you can do that. That's the biggest thing that we can do, support us. We out here supporting the community as well. As you see, I wear pink because of breast cancer. Like I said, every Thursday we wear purple because we really want to bring awareness to domestic violence that's going around. And it's really rapid that I've been hearing that's been going around in the world. And we just want to bring awareness to it. So support the men and the women that's in it. These men and women are going through it, not just women, it's men too as well. So we just want to bring awareness so we can be able to go look out, and if we could give help as much as we can, if we have ways of giving help on hotlines and going to places where you can get that help and be able to get somebody that's there and listen to you. So we all here for you and just want to let you know. So please join in, and we would love it. If you have anything about it that you know of, please join and just talk about it. That's what we're here for. We're here for to bring awareness. We're here to let people know, to give them that information, and to let them know that we care and we love them no matter what. So, and it's not their fault. So it's just, we go from there. But otherwise, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is something that's like, to me, I really never kind of dealt with. Like I say a little bit on my end. What you feel about, the domestic violence and everything, Boots.
For me, well, I can go deep and deep and deep. So, but what I think people need to understand is what is domestic violence, right?
Right.
A lot of people have a notion in this idea domestic violence only pertains to the physical, which is completely false, right? So once you be able to have a good definition on what domestic violence is,
Right.
That's just abusive behaviors to one individual to gain power and control over someone, right?
Right.
Whatever that entails for that in particular person. You have perpetrators who don't hit, but they're financial abusive. They're mental and verbal abusive. So we have to understand, and people have to understand, for one, domestic violence is just not physical.
Right.
The mental and the verbal pieces, those are the most critical parts of domestic violence. And before we begin, guys, just so you know, I started my career in domestic violence. I worked for the Wings program. It's not a shelter, but it's a safe house where it's a big organization in Illinois. And this was my first look into domestic violence as a whole spectrum, right?
Right.
We didn't know what domestic violence was. Did I see it? Did we go through it? Absolutely. Now that I'm older, I'm wiser. I know what it looks like. I have seen victims. I have seen death. I have, so this domestic violence thing is real, right? And we minimize it, or we enable these perpetrators, or we enable the behaviors, but not understanding that increases and that escalates.
Right.
Because the perpetrators don't stop. You may leave, but the only thing they do is they choose another victim. Right. But unless they get help, which there is help for perpetrators. I want to go work on the other side of DV, not with just victims, but I did want to work with the perpetrators because I wanted to tap into why. Why. They don't even know why. And not to minimize their behavior, because that's monster. That's a monstrous thing to do.
Right.
And let's just make it real clear, everybody. Domestic violence, like you said, just does not stop with females, right?
Exactly.
When I worked in this field as an advocate, I got a lot of the transgender, as a male or female, a few men, that came in, because you never hear me say, oh, I'm always saying victims. I don't say female, because there are men who suffer DV, domestic violence, but do they come forward as much? No, because they have this stigma. They're men, they're supposed to be macho, or they supposed to have this, this macho, oh, you can take it, she only slap you. Well, no one should be hitting nobody.
Right.
Myself included. I believe, for me, I believe this is my perception, that I don't think nobody is opted out of experiencing any type of domestic violence. Whether if we were a kid and seen it, whether we were in a relationship and didn't notice it, because, we'd tap into a little later, because we didn't recognize those red flags. And we'll talk about that a little later. But, domestic violence hits me personally and professionally. You know what I mean? So I have plenty of stories to share. And I look back, hey, I've probably been a perpetrator of abuse too. I didn't slap somebody, I slapped a person in the head or two.
Right.
It don't make it right. You get what I mean? So I believe majority of people have dealt with some type of domestic violence. I want to say / sexual assault, but that goes a little bit deeper into.
Do you feel like, as me learning about it even more, let's say someone has anger, right? So do you feel that when someone do have an anger, they're gonna tend to be that person that will cause that, that domestic violence due to anger, do people who get angry, not really we all get angry. So and nobody perfect here in this world. So, and everybody on TikTok, if you could just tap in, tap the screen. And we really, really appreciate that love. And thank you, Miss Knowledge. I really appreciate you. Love you so much, sweetie. Thank you for the rose. We really appreciate you, love. And thank you for following us. Please keep following us. We just really want to do something great out here in this world, something positive and loving towards others, and just spread love and joy and peace, basically, and bring awareness to things that a lot of people can't speak about, and we're just speaking about it. And that's the thing about it. We're not holding no bars. We want to really bring it to the table, and we want to tell it as it is. But like, what their anger resort of it, like, is it more of anger, or is it more of jealousy, or more control? What I'm thinking that what I'm seeing, if it's like a sense of control. Okay. So, and something like, it's basically control, manipulation, and jealousy. So I'm thinking that's what happens to people when they start doing that, and you hear those horror stories, like what get them to that point to take someone's life over it. That's the biggest thing. What really comes to this mind that say, if I don't get you, nobody can get you. Absolutely. So what anger promotes that? Like, what type of way of noticing things of that nature? And why is it so hard for us to get out of that if we are in that situation, to think like, oh, they're just maybe playing, or I don't think they're serious the way we think they're serious. But you really don't know somebody's mind, and you think that they're going to be like, okay, well, they just talking for right now, and they're not serious. But when they really do go to that point to overstep that boundary, it's like, it's something that's mind-blowing. I would never would guess that someone would take the whole family out due to that. Even children. Absolutely. Children are affected, and children are killed in this situation as well. I used to hear so many horror stories when I'm back home, of people I know that when in Arkansas, that they went to domestic violence, that the man literally went in the house to kill her and the kids. And that was like so hurtful to hear that, of someone who come to that mindset, that's want to try to change their life, and don't want to live their life, and don't want their kids to see, and someone be able come there and be like, oh my goodness, I want to take your life, and I'm going to take my own kids' life and everybody's life. And some of them do take it on their own. So to know that mental, for them to go to that mental unstable, what we can do to help that person, and what we can do to help even the women that's going through, even though they got their life. But I feel like it's not a lot of protection for the women, and not a protection for the men as well when it comes to that. No one takes it. I don't think people takes it that serious when it's really serious, when a whole family can get murdered. Absolutely. And a whole family, someone can get burned, or, like really, really, really hurting them. Absolutely. And I just really don't understand it. I seen anger of when my mom dated people, and when she dated people, she one man she dated, he literally was like angry, so he pushed, like bust through the, like bust the window through the door. But my mom is tough. My mom is red bone. She's tough. She's not gonna allow no man to put her hands on her. So she dealt with that in that way. But I was up there protective of my mom as well. And it was like and I'm protective of my sister as well. And shout out to my sister Marissa Kirby. I love her to death. And so I'm protective of my sister as well. So it's like, when you see that, and you see a man willing to do that, that's something that's a little scary over someone who said, I don't want to be with you no more. So that's something that I feel like mind blowing to me. Yes. And Lisa, hey, how you doing, beautiful Lisa? And hi, Shy 1111.
Where you checking in?
Checking in
from where?
Checking in on TikTok. How y'all doing, ladies?
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining.
I got YouTube over here. Monique, hello Monique. Thanks for joining. Betty's here. Thank you, Betty. My sister here, Trisha, she's here. She works she's a DV advocate over Red Wings. So maybe she can tap in and share some of her experience or answer some of your questions. Facebook, I see you guys. Myron, Colleen, thank you guys. Jeff, thanks for joining. Tap in, let us know what you guys think. Hey, Taffy. Over here on Instagram, we got Shy. What's that? Adrian. We have Miss Knowledge. What's up? Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, guys. Tap the screen for us. Lisa.
Yeah, that's Lisa.
That's my baby. Thanks
sister.
for joining. So let's take a step back because you said a lot of things that was very critical. You touched on the abusers and what makes them so angry, or how do they get to that point where they want to unalive a family, a mom, or the kids, and that's very critical because it hit personal a few years ago. It hit my family some years ago. One thing we need to understand, if we want to look into the perpetrator side, okay, we're not negating the fact that what he or she did was not monstrous, right? But you have to understand and realize something is going on with that perpetrator that they do not have control over. Their anger, their emotions, some childhood trauma. I believe we talked about it before, and they do not know how to express themselves. And some get triggered to the point whereas, they want so much control and power over an individual. If they don't get it, they turn it becomes rage. After that, it's not love anymore, right? It's not being in a relationship anymore. It's about the power and control. And once you realize it and recognize, how much control and power you give a perpetrator, or a man or your spouse or whatever, then you'll honestly realize that I think I'm in a domestic violence situation. Because guarantee you, when you try to get out, it's not going to be easy. Okay. And I say that personally and privately, right? Because my family dealt with it. We'll go into that later. It's public record. So I feel like I'm not putting nobody out there. Even though I want to expose some names on this motherfucker, but I'm the same face. But everybody know, if you know me, who I'm talking about. But so I'm gonna protect his ugly ass tonight. But because I'm nice like that.
Nice. I like that about you.
I'm nice.
I like that about you.
I'm gonna keep a little
bit. Keep a little bit. We don't do you like that.
So we don't do you like that. But so we have to really realize that these men have some rage, built up anger in them. And I can assure you, it comes from some type of childhood trauma. Some internal piece where they feel, and I'm gonna just speak for me because I'm a woman, but they have female issues. I say mommy issues, and I can guarantee you, just looking at my personal experience, he had mommy issues. Didn't get the nurturing, didn't get the love, got beat, dysfunction was the normal. Just being able to be that, everything about a situation had to be survival mode. They go into survival, people running in and out of their lives, no father figure, no mommy figure, so it's a lot of things that play into these perpetrators' lives also. But we're focused on the victims because the victims has been really, they have been victimized to a point where it's going to affect them and their kids for the rest of their lives, right? So this is why we really tend to focus on the victims, which we should, because I say this, perpetrators we need to stop enabling it. Once we start enabling, and domestic violence is like an addiction. It grows in the dark. Once you keep it in the dark, Kiki, there's no exposure to it. So guess what he or she keeps doing? They keep on doing it. Then you come outside, oh, y'all so cute. Oh, he's such a nice guy. But you don't know the demons and the secret behind closed doors. And that's how majority of abusive relationships pretty much pan out. Now, some people don't care about you seeing how abusive they are. It's just evident. Like they guys, this will make me mad when guys know their boys or their friend, whatever, are pretty much abusers. that they say, well, that ain't my business. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be damned if I sit back here and see my friend getting beat up or abused and I don't step in.
Exactly.
I have a duty to do that.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we have a duty as human beings, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I have 5 boys,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't tolerate it. I will call the police on them myself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if I ever found out, if I have found, and I have done it. Because you don't get the right to hurt people.
Right.
Because you're not only hurting them physically, you're hurting them mentally.
Right.
You know, that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to take a look and just be able to recognize red flags.
Right.
And we tend to minimize that out of being cute or thinking he or she is jealous, and stuff like that. So we have to be able to really stand stern. Like for me personally, I'm a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my mom, you know, if she in here, hey Vera. But my mom, let's check in. Got Tina coming in. Hey Queen B. Hey guys, thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm. And I got a diva, I think Jim. What?
That's Tina.
That's Tina.
Tina, yeah.
Hey Tina, how you doing, baby?
So what was I going? So we just got to be able to recognize these red flags.
Yeah,
right?
because you were saying about your mom and everything.
Oh yeah. So as kids,
right.
You know, we've seen a lot of it. We didn't know what it was. Oh, my mom and dad argue. You know, they just, but not understand. We didn't know they didn't have DCFS back then.
Right.
Like that, and that would call and come help these families.
DCFS was guns.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, seriously. In Arkansas, DCFS was guns.
You know what I'm saying? So wasn't nobody in there to really come in and help these kids in these situations. Because I've seen, and my mom is she a tyrant, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, we seen her, she fight men, you know, so we didn't see her get beat up or abused or like that, but because we see her doing a lot of the attacking or fighting, and her and my dad fighting, but was it okay? No. Mm-hmm. We didn't realize what it was. So, you know, we get up and we get into relationships. We think that arguing is okay and being called, you know, derogatory names is okay, but it's not.
Right.
You know, it's not. And I really try to really stand stern with my boys on how they should be treating females. Right. You know, because of what they said, if you have to beat her, you don't need it. Right. You know, but it's hard for men to control that anger.
And women too. Yes. I mean, like, they don't want to let go of the man. And that's the sad part about it. Like, you know, we get caught up in that we think hitting or I don't like labeling or being really toxic in a way is something that's beautiful. Like, oh my goodness, they this, I can't do that, and I can't be with my friends or that. We think it's cute that they are overprotective of us, but it's not overprotective. It's like a sense of control. And when they lose that control, that's when the anger is not what the anger is. The anger is more of, I don't know. I would say, to me, in a way, with mental, demonic in a way too. I feel like to know that you finna harm someone because of you want to control them. That's something that, to me, I feel like that's definitely a mental issue. Definitely demonic in a way, because some people do things that you would not even believe that people would do, and some people, you know, it's really sad. And I really, really feel sad for people that that's really having no mental issues, because you still have to be kind of like, you know, in a way, just forgiving and loving of them, no matter what they do. But it's just the point of how they take other families away from each other. It's hard to love that. And it
may make it hard to love.
Yes, it's really hard, because when you think about those things, it's like for someone to take even the children out, and I just.
But the thing about it is this, Kiki. Linda Rogers said, "Hey, Queen, this is so much Steve. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for joining, Linda.
Thank you for joining, Linda.
Thank you." Again, we're going back to the perpetrators being able to recognize some things that's going on with them, and at some point, in a certain age, they have to become self-aware.
Right.
You know, sometimes they say when a man changes how he sees a woman when he has his first daughter, right? We don't see that a lot no more. I know some men be like, man, you know, what if that was my daughter, my niece, or my mom, you know, and people have to look at them like, you have a daughter coming up one day. You have nieces, you know, you have to be able to recognize, I know my anger. You know what I mean? I know my triggers. And if I know if somebody's doing something to me that I know that's going to trigger me to make one put hands on you, then that's not a good situation or environment for me to be in. And sometimes, let's go back, it's hard. You said something about it being hard to leave. It's very hard to leave. And people don't understand this. Working in, and my sister, if you can chime in on that, if you're still here, you know, we have these assessments, we talk to these victims, and people, you know, it's a judgment thing that they fear. Just like addiction. Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just quit? It's hard, especially if you had a person in the household who was the financial provider. They use that coercion on that intimidation. I'm gonna take my kids with you. Even now in my field now, we get a lot of cases whereas, you know, moms or dads scared because they've been threatening to call DCFS, take the kids, get custody. They need to understand those are all intimidation tactics. They're gonna use the kids to scare you. They're gonna use money to keep you. And you know, you have these relationships and you become dependent on that other one because he pays, you know, the first thing, oh, he pays all the bills. But what were you doing? You know, I took care of the kids, I've stayed at home. And these perpetrators, they know that they have these victims in a situation, you need me. Then they start that mental abuse. Nobody's gonna want you. You look at you ugly, whatever they're gonna say to do to try to bring you to the lowest form of yourself. Now here comes the low self-esteem, depression, anxiety. Now you want to look like a bum because he's saying if you get pretty, you know, you're either gonna get beat or you're gonna get, you know, degraded. You know, not understanding these are perpetrator tactics. You have to realize it. And when he or she is feeling, they get to this phase where they have a guilty conscience for just a minute. You know, and if you knew the cycle of abuse, you will see it has that stage where they go through these phases. It's called the cycle of abuse, guys. Google it, okay? You got that calm and that tension building and that incident and the reconciliation. You know, they gaslighting, right? You know, they telling you pretty or let's do this, and they're giving you these, you know, these rewards to make you feel good so that you don't leave. Right. Now you know it's coming because I can guarantee you victims know when their perpetrators are escalating, right? It's called that tension build. You start gaslighting. Why you didn't, you know, why this bathroom ain't clean? It just the littlest thing. You be like, for real, you know, and that's that, and you feel it coming, you know, next thing you know, bam, the incident occurs, right? You didn't got, you know, the physical, the emotional, the blaming, the projecting, intimidation, the threats, all that, okay? And after that's done, he leave or, you know, y'all separate. Now he coming back to say sorry. And guess what we do? Okay, he's sorry. He didn't mean it. Guess the fuck he did. You know exactly what he did because he did it, right? So how many sorries are you going to take? How many apologies will you accept? Until what? You wake up and, you know, something detrimental didn't happen? See it all the time. You know, and I'm not going to talk in, you know, within the last year or so. You know, Elgin was hit with a couple tragedies. You know, just in that area alone, my family was hit with a tragedy. My uncle, he killed his wife on a very, very monstrous man. You know, we knew it, but he shot and killed his wife in front of, you know, it was a very, very hard time.
Hey, Erica.
Very hard time for our family at that time, but that's what I did. You know, made the news, even made the Jay Leno show. That's our it was in DeKalb, okay? And that touched our family very, it splits some families. Domestic violence splits families, just like addiction does.
Thank you.
And
it does.
You have to really be able to expose that.
Hey everyone who's joining me for live Facebook. Welcome to our podcast, Unspoken Truth. Me and Boots just doing what we're doing and bringing awareness to domestic violence for this beautiful month that God has blessed us to see and to enjoy and to try to help and bring awareness to help others as well to get the knowledge and the need that they need, you know, to be able to get the help. And my thing is, what I learned more is more too now is in younger children, like younger adults, 20 to 24, 25, they don't know how to handle their anger. They don't know how to do that. Yeah.
I got cases whereas I'm dealing with we dealt with domestic violence with high school with teenagers. So like where is this behavior coming from?
Exactly.
Is it learned?
Hey Crystal, how you doing, baby?
Let's check in. So we got Aunt joining us, or Miss Ozella Sugar Baby joining us. Thanks for joining, guys. We're talking about domestic violence this evening. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. Tell us, what your thoughts on domestic violence is. My sister Trusa said that, and this is wholeheartedly correct, the most dangerous time for a survivor is when she tries to leave.
Right.
Do you understand that? Let me repeat it. The most dangerous time for a survivor is when she tries to leave.
Right.
Do you know that what triggers him? That rage comes out.
Because that's that control.
That's that control.
He can't lose control. He or she can't lose control, because it's not all, like I said, it's not all women. It's men too that go through this abuse of women, and then we don't believe them because they're men. But some men just do not go around just hitting women. They really respect the woman. And some men don't want to hit other men, and they go through those things as well. And women who hit women, it's really big, even more in the lesbian.
I heard that.
It is huge in the lesbian community, because the reason why is that sense of control. We as women, we feel differently when it comes to being with a woman. It's like a different feeling. I always say when people ask me, it's a different feeling of being with a woman. It's like basically you with a woman for a week. That's basically, it's like 6 months. So you know each other for years, and it's like that because you're developing this friendship. And when you develop this friendship, now you're around this person constantly. You being with this woman and this person constantly, or the male too, as gay males too. So you're around them constantly. So it's like to know that you have that what we feel is love, sometimes is more of attachment. So it's losing that attachment that causing them to go into that rage.
Do you think in a same-sex relationship that it becomes more codependent?
Yes.
But that's what happens too.
Yes. Some of them get really obsessive, codependent on that person of same-sex relationships. That's like, she was everything to me, or he was everything to me. So I built this whole life and this wall around this person because they was everything to me.
I think that's a different perspective. I think that's a different perspective as far as in the same sex relationships about, that codependency part. Because the clients I did have that was transgender, it was like more of abusive when they was trying to like be together, one person. So it's a lot, and I can't really elaborate on that much, just opposed to what they would tell me, how, especially the females would be more dominant, more controlling. But again, it's just the fact about, emotional intelligence and just being able to control your emotions and recognize your triggers. We don't know what our trigger points are, especially for abusers, because all they see is you trying to leave me. And I think that's I haven't been able to study perpetrators to a degree, because I'm going to always resort to the mental health piece, because you have to have some type of mental disorder to be able to want to inflict so much pain on somebody, right? It's not normal. And then if you want to unalive some kids in the process, something like, what type of rage is that? You know, what type of anger is that? And I would love to interview a perpetrator. But you know, it's a shameful thing. So they're not gonna come forward. They're gonna deny. You know.
I don't think they have an issue. I don't think they have a problem. You know, they want to point the finger that this person did this to make me this way, and it's not their fault for them to make you want to go upside their head or to want to basically murder them or the family. It's not nowhere near their fault for that. That's just you and the way you're trying to control everything and the insecurities of what you feel or how you seen from growing up or whatever you seen as growing up as well. Because some of it can have that trauma. That's when they grew up seeing their mom being beat and everything. So
the cycle repeats itself.
Yes. So that cycle keeps repeating, keeps doing that. People really don't know how important it is to know when to get out. But sometimes I feel like we're so scared and thinking that we know this person, but we don't know this person. Hi, my girl Brandy. Hi, Celine.
My brother Ty says this is why you leave at the first sign of abuse. Your life depends on it, and that's true too. But you know, sometimes
you do, and still.
We got Cynthia Anderson checking in, Tammy Johnson, Roxanne White. Thank you guys for joining. We're talking about domestic violence this evening.
Yeah.
You guys want to share something? Go ahead and put it in the comments. Thanks for joining. But what was I going to say? You said you know when you first see the signs, but we don't see the signs. You know why? I'm going to tell you this why. We think it's cute.
Exactly.
Oh, you know.
He's overprotective.
You know, we think it's really cute. Oh, he's jealous. Don't be jealous of me. Because jealousy, that's my first indicator, right?
Right.
Because as a I'm going to speak for me because, you know, in a heterosexual relationships, like, don't change who I am when you know this is who I am when you met me. Exactly. You met me with red lipstick. You met me with my titties sitting up high, sitting out and cute. That's how you met me.
Exactly.
So 6 months down the line, when you feel you're in a good position to really try to change something, now you don't like it because why? Other men are looking at you. You know, you getting compliments. Well, guess what? Did you compliment me when you met me?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So especially if you're a decent looking female, you know, you got a nice body or whatever the situation, because it ain't about looks.
Right.
You know, it's about power and control. But I'm saying if those are, you know, just another indicator, if men look at you, you know, it's your fault. You know, you get blamed for because here comes the manipulation, that narcissistic bull crap.
Right.
And you got to be aware of those narcissistic individuals. I was going to say men, but you know, they have a way of trying to manipulate. And if you don't see it and know it, Kiki, and I know it, they will have your ass wrapped up into something you don't even know what you in. You thinking he loved you. He came home and told you he loved you, huh?
Right.
And you kiki.
And
not understanding
what love really is. Love is patient, kind. Love is just
doesn't hurt.
It's just beautiful. Love hurts, but not in the way of her putting your hands on someone's head. That's not love. People don't understand that. You got to know the definition of love. And you know, God said it completely. It's the way He loved us and the way He put us, you know, like always being there for us, listening to us and being patient and loving and kind, forgiving and unconditionally. It's like they need to recognize what love is to know that when someone hitting them and abusing their children or whatever, that's not love. So it's like a lot of, for women and men to be scared in a relationship. I definitely know from a little bit of you scared that it's going to happen again. So you avoid what you did to not them, for them not to do that to you again. So you avoid that. So if when they choke you or they doing this because let's say you're leaving, right? Hey Corey, baby, how you doing, sweetie? Let's say you leaving, and then they choke you, they put their hands on you, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna leave because if I do, he's gonna put his hands on me, and I don't want that and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to stay in this relationship. But that relationship is not good. You're staying in it because you have a fear of leaving that person.
Absolutely.
And you have the comfortability of like, oh, if I leave this person, how I'm going to be able to find that love again. He loves me. You know, one minute he's okay and next minute he's not okay. But I still want to be there. That's not a healthy relationship.
Because you know now we're talking about trauma bonding. And you know, other people may call it soul ties or
right.
You know, but it's trauma bonding when you attach yourself to this man. I keep saying I'm saying because of me. You attach yourself to this person's trauma.
I'm my beautiful Mary.
You know,
love you, my Mary.
And once you attach yourself to that trauma, you become that trauma. You become that. So now walking on eggshells, right?
How you doing, Shell?
You're walking on eggshells. You gotta please them. Make sure it's dinner there. You gotta make sure you're on time. You gotta make sure when you sit in the car or something, you're not looking left or right because he controls your every being, right? If you look left, you look right. You know, this is how you know you're dealing with a monster.
Right.
You know, if as a human being, you cannot go out with your significant other, enjoy yourself without you getting jealous, rageful, and wanting to just like really, you know, hurt the person you with. What puts you in that mindset? So what if a man looking at you? So what if a woman looking at you? You know?
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Know?
So it's
my girl Michelle said something. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
She said, or they'll think like if they leave, how will they support themselves and the kids and keep them there? And totally correct, Michelle. That is one of the biggest things why I said comfortability, because they don't want to lead that because how I'm going to do this. He's the one have this. It's the reason why they have that sense. He or she has that sense of control. Hi, my Shanice, baby. How you doing, sweetie? Yeah. And so it's that sense of control that they will have because of you feeling that way. That's how they put you in that way. They know that. And they go for it. I'm gonna tell you, they are smart. They are smart. They will go for the ones they know has that weak side.
Oh, absolutely.
And they showered and they do all this love, but deep down they know that they are taking time bomb. And that's the sad thing about it, because who want anybody to lose their life or a man to have to be in jail for the rest of his life for hurting someone? There's nothing feel good about that. Nothing feel good about either situation. So it's like a life is a life no matter what, how you slice it or dice it. And to know that they putting themselves in that type of environment for comfortability, and they have an illness as well. And that's why they need that help as well. And my girl Lisa, she was up there saying it's a try to hurt and force. Love is not forced. Exactly. To break the curses, so pass them the seed. Sorry about that, everyone.
Got Corey coming in, checking in on Facebook.
But yes, Lisa, you are totally correct. Absolutely. Seriously, you are totally correct. And the thing about it is like we get stuck up in this, but we know that the woman have a way of illness too, because you have to be able to talk to her to realize, to tell her, honey, it's not, they don't love you. And it's hard to break someone out of it when they never was shown love. Some women never was shown love. And they think that's the only thing about it is showing them love, because when they grew up, they didn't have that love. So that person that abusing them and hurting them, it keeps them there because they never experienced what love really is. And that's how the cycle keep continuing. And those kids watch it. When those kids watch it and knowing their mom is in there or their dad is in there, they're gonna go to they might be doing it to somebody else, or they might be have some type of trauma and mental issue of it and don't want to be around the mom because sometimes they feel like you should have left and why you didn't leave.
And that comes back to the judgment piece about you just saying, like, when women are in these situations and others as well, it's the fear of leaving, because they already know that Michelle, if I try to leave him, what's going to happen? He's going to show up at your mama's house, your friend's house, your cousin's house, your job. You can't escape, right?
Exactly.
You cannot escape your abuser, because at one point he knows everything about you. He's gonna show up and he's gonna act out right where he stands. I've been through
Right.
it. You know
And
what I mean? I've
Michelle
been through
is, well, right. Michelle, my girl, said, I did this. He was the financial provider. I had 5 kids to care for.
it.
And I figured if I could behave and get through the cycle, that's
That's
the
what you mean behave.
like,
You see that?
yes, it's
It
like
should
that's
behave.
that sense of thinking that I'm serious. It's like you thinking that I'm gonna behave, I'm gonna do right, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that because if I do this, he might get mad or she might get mad. So you going through these emotions of, oh my goodness, what can I do? But I'm gonna behave because I don't want to deal with that issue. I don't want to deal with his anger. I don't want to deal with him hurting me and my kids seeing it. So
Absolutely.
he stays in it.
You stay in it.
Right.
You become so.
Thank you, baby. Love you.
You come so vulnerable to his needs and his emotions, and now the whole house is walking on eggshells because they don't know when dad or mom or your paramour this is gonna be the day.
Right.
You know.
And thanks everyone too. Hold on, please. Yeah. Thanks everyone on TikTok. Please keep on tapping that screen. We really appreciate you. Appreciate everyone for supporting us, bringing awareness to this wonderful world that God bless us to live in and try to help each other and love each other as well. So we thank y'all so much for joining. And again, go ahead, Boots.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining. We got Dr. Jasandra Figueroa, my friend and doctor.
Hey, what's going on?
So we got a black woman doctor here.
You better stop playing around with us.
Yes.
Don't play. Let's go.
I'm so proud of her. But yeah, like I said, is you have to be able to really recognize because the kids are going to start being affected. And kids are not dumb.
No, they're not.
Kids are not dumb. Mm-hmm. Sometimes kids will act out in other ways, or they silence themselves because they know what the triggers are in the home.
Hey, my darling, how you doing, cuz? Love you, baby.
We get it all the time. You know, in my case, in my job now, we see it all the time. A lot of domestic violence.
It's all God.
You know. Kids see a lot of DV. This is why, and I'm not going to say my kids have not seen it because, like again, I was a fighter. Not to say I started fights, but you want to go put your hands on me and me not fight back. And this is another thing, you know, victims and survivors should also really understand. You have to learn to fight back.
Yes, you do.
You know what I mean? And bad as that may sound and wrong as that may be, because guess what? And this is why we didn't get into why domestic violence became illegal to do. And it's just recently, in I believe 1994, President Clinton signed a bill that said it is now illegal to beat your spouse.
Oh my goodness.
Because you know what will happen? Is police will get these calls of domestic violence. You know, they get there, and I'm gonna just speak on female and male. You know, the female will like, oh no, nothing happened, or I don't want to press charges, or he'll go to jail. They'll go to court and say they don't want to press charges. So it was all of this is saying like something's going on in these families and these homes, and these victims. They keep not want to, prosecute these abusers.
Exactly.
So the law had to step in, right? And so it is now that just became recently just became a law, because we have so many, females said I don't want to press charges or no, and stayed.
And that's how it happens.
And this is how it happens. And this is they end up dead or kids end up abused.
Exactly.
We see kids, some abusers, they kill the kids to hurt the mom.
They do.
We see it all the time. But and we can blame the female too also, but we have to also understand is she has some issues going on that she needs to address too.
Exactly.
And a lot of men, I can tell you this, they choose and they know how to pick their victims.
Yeah, I told you they do.
Okay, they know how to pick their victims.
They know from the ones that haven't had that love and they go for them. They really do. And my cousin Darlene, she said, yes, you're absolutely correct. This subject needs to be spoken on more often. And you're totally correct, cuz that's why we doing this is we're going to speak about so many things that people don't want to speak about, but we're going to speak about them because it's important and it's going to be able to help someone out to get the help they need and to know that we're here. You know, we here, and whatever we can do to help, we're going to do what we ever can do to help each other, male or female. It doesn't even matter. Right. We're going to always if we can give out whatever hotline we can for you to be able to call. Of course, we're going to be able to do that research for you, because the reason why is no one should be taking a life just because they want to have control over someone else's life. And when someone else can be able to live that life with their children, and the children suffer, the children dies, family dies, and we lose another beautiful life in this world that God has created us to be able to love each other. So that's the most important thing in this world, in this life. So it doesn't, and my girl Michelle, it does not have to be hands placed on you. It can be financially, it can be actions, gaslighting, right? A verbal, mental, making you feel like you're crazy. Words hurt as much as a punch, and you solely correct. Really that's what she said. Verbal abuse is another one of the biggest things too, that actually can make you feel so belittled. No matter what someone tell you, they'll tell you you're beautiful, you this, you that. They don't even care. They really stuck up on that what you call them and what you said to them and how you speak to them. They don't even know the difference of what is good or what is not good, and they don't have the help they need to be able to have that type of knowing of people around them to tell them, you know, girl, you are, or brother, you can't be dealing with that, that she shouldn't be acting like that, or he shouldn't be acting like that to you. It's just so much that goes around that people really don't understand with that verbal abuse that keeps you in that bubble, that keeps you there to thinking that I'm not worthy of nothing. I'm going to stay in this relationship because I'm not worthy of anything. And that's the sad thing about it. Hey, my Don, how you doing? Most favorite bus driver ever in history. Love you, baby. Thank you so much.
And to get my mom checking in, Vera Ariane checking in, my cousin Sharissa Blazer checking in, Andrew Pate. Thank you guys for joining finally, Sharissa.
Thank you, babies. I'm serious. You know, we just doing some things and just trying to, just spread this.
Queen Nash, she's joining in on.
Oh my goodness, such a blessing. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. I'm truly, truly blessed for everybody that's really chiming in. And like I said, it's a lot of help out there. You got in Aurora, they got Mutual Ground. They got Guardian Angel and Joliet. That if you have that type of, you don't know where to go, there's places you can go to get that help. And you know, I know sometimes we got we got police officers, you know, that's out there that's really, really big upon helping women and men. And we seeing that men go through it as well. And I said, seriously, lesbian couples is big, and young adults, 20 to 24. They are really having a hard time dealing with it because suicide comes in. Oh, yeah. Some of them don't even deal with some don't even deal with domestic violence. Some deal with just killing themselves because they don't have that person that they love. And we need to bring awareness as well for young adults and young teenagers that's killing themselves because of love. And we need to show love to them and let them know that we're out here for them as well, and for them to find the guidance and the help they need. Because sometimes they can talk to the parents, and it's like that. Sometimes you don't want to talk to the parents about what you're going through and what the person doing. And I'm gonna tell you one time, literally, that I had someone who was young, and some young girl was telling them to kill themselves and to you'll do this for me if you love me. So for them to deal with that, and these young adults think like, oh, I really want to do this, and I want to keep this person, so let me do what I can do to make that person happy. And that's not all be all. But guess what? Their mind are young, so they're gonna take to thinking that suicide is the best thing for them. And they don't do the domestic, they don't go out hidden, they don't go out, they kill themselves. So we have to bring awareness as well with that, with these young adults. and that's killing themselves, and young teenagers
Mhm.
over love. And then the other ones are killing their partners over love. And we have to bring awareness as well, that as them as young, that we can be able to help them. That's why we want them to come in and be able to have that talk. It don't matter, inbox, whoever, we will do what we can so we can be able to save a life. It's the most important is save a life. That's what we want to do. We want to save a life. Why? Because this world is beautiful and we all are beautiful. We all wonderfully made. God created us. He's a wonderful creator. So why not save a life and help a life?
Absolutely.
I'm truly blessed to even know anybody. I wouldn't care if I didn't know you. I still would be there to save you the best way I can.
Absolutely.
And I just want everyone to know that we got this. And it's not your fault. You got help out there, and you got people who really are concerned about people and what they're going through, especially these young, beautiful children in this world as well.
So for the last couple minutes, Kiki, what I want to do is I want to share some statistics. I want to give out this domestic violence hotline. If you know somebody, if you're even experiencing any type of domestic violence, I will post this on the YouTube page, the TikTok page, and the Facebook page.
Yes.
So domestic violence hotline, we have 877-863-6338. And what we do know, and what the latest statistics states, Kiki.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Hold on, because my eyes ain't right.
They right. You gotta do it. They right.
So 85% of victims are women. Every 9 seconds, a woman is beaten. 1 in 5 homicide victims are killed by an intimate partner. 3+ women killed every day by a male partner. 1 in 3 women are raped or assaulted in their lifetime. Okay. So that speaks, so saying like 1 in 3, like just me, you, and your daughter sitting here,
Right.
like, it is happening out here, right?
Right.
There was another. Okay, here it is. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence during their whole lifetime. Every year, more than 3 million children witness domestic violence in the homes.
Right.
That right there is something. So I also want to just talk about and go into just some warning signs, okay? And just knowing that like 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience some form of physical violence by a partner. Right. So how do you know these signs? We already just kind of really discussed all these. Right. Guys, listen, if you are in a situation and know somebody in a situation, they show an extreme jealousy. There's shame and insult, and there's the meaningful behavior. Right. Some may be using drugs and alcohol. Yeah. We didn't talk about that.
Most definitely.
Drugs and alcohol play a big factor into domestic violence.
Big time.
Isolation. They isolate you. They don't want you to have friends or families, family members. Every time you want to get out, get dressed, and go home, he has something derogatory to say. Right.
Exactly.
So being able to recognize those small signs, those little innuendos of, why you wearing the red lipstick, or why you wearing those jeans today. Right. Little things are like that are red flags.
Gotta be careful.
So how do you escape that? So we should do some safety planning just real quick, because we're pressing for time. Just having a safety plan. Unfortunately, it is a shameful thing to deal with, but you're going to have to talk to somebody.
Yes.
Somebody you don't know, a teacher, a friend.
Yes.
Somebody you can tell what's going on. Okay,
totally
number 1. Number 2, if it is going on in the home, you're going to have some type of sign or symbol or some type of hint to have somebody call the police for this.
Right.
So say if you're in the house, he's isolating you, you can't get out. You need to hide a cell phone somewhere where he can't, just a little government phone or something, put it under the toilet, somewhere he will not find it. So you can be able to escape and go to that safe space, call 911.
Right.
Have an emergency bag in the closet on your trunk somewhere.
Right.
So if you do have to escape, you put your birth certificate, social security cards,
right.
bank account information, credit cards,
yes.
and keep you a safe stash of like 200 or 300,
right.
in that bag.
Very good.
Don't keep it in
Very
the
good
house.
moves.
Give it to somebody. Keep it in the trunk, because I can guarantee you at some point you're gonna want to leave.
Right. Right.
And he's gonna try to hold everything like that against you, because guess what? You're gonna have to try to enroll your kids in school.
Right.
But he's gonna intimidate you and keep that from you, knowing you can't enroll your kids in school because he has those documents.
Right.
So just little things like that, safety planning like that, you should be aware of, and just having that in your mindset.
Exactly.
Especially if you know this abuse is occurring multiple times a week. When he's drunk, you know when it's coming. So being able to recognize, okay, he gaslighting, here comes that tension building phase.
Right.
Then we start getting shit together.
Right.
Having the kids, unfortunately, letting the kids know how to dial 911 if you hear mom or dad yelling too loud.
Right.
It's if you're in that situation.
That's true.
You have your only priority is to keep you and your kids safe and alive.
Right.
If you're not going to fight back, because I'm fighting to the death. If we got to tumble like that, one of us got to get out this house. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say, but I'm a fighter. I will boil some hot water. You're not just gonna abuse me. Not to say I have not been abused. I'm pretty sure I have.
Right.
Because my family's like, oh, I feel sorry for such. Don't feel sorry for that bitch. You don't know what he does. You have no. I'm keeping his secret.
Right.
But because we fighters. But with that being said, you guys, I'll be posting some resources. If you guys have any questions, I do have a lot of resources on some safe places to go. If you're in the Elgin Area Community Crisis Center,
Right.
you call the Domestic Violence Hotline. Like I said, there's a lot of shelters and places that you can go that do not allow the perpetrators to know where you're going.
Right.
So, you have to get out, okay? That's what all that being said. Hey, Neil,
Dad.
thanks, guys, for sharing. You have any last words?
Basically, like I said, it's out here. If you towards us, like towards me in Plainfield, there's places that you can go to get help. As I said, Mutual Ground that's in Aurora, and you got Guardian Angel that's in Joliet. If you need any type of help, you got that hotline. Like she said, if you need it again, inbox us. We'll definitely give it to you. Thank you again for joining us. We went a little over, but we needed to get this out here. We're gonna even touch on bases on breast cancer of what going on. Like I said, we wearing pink. I'm wearing pink for the whole month. Pink and purple for the whole month of October. Pink for breast cancer and purple for domestic violence. So we just want to bring awareness to everything for health and for people's lives and everything that we're just trying to do is bring awareness. I love y'all all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Please next week join us. We have more things we're going to talk about. Please go on basically TikTok, tap and share, and definitely on YouTube. Please subscribe.
Linda Rogers says we need to know our worth. We are all worthy of love and to be loved. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
With that said, God bless you guys. Let's keep us safe, keep them babies safe, okay?
Miss you, honey. I love you. So beautiful. I miss you. Miss all my babies. I miss all my friends and everybody. I love y'all so much. Again, we're gonna end it. So again, we start at 7:30. We're gonna talk about so many topics that's unspoken to help somebody out. But please join us. But next time, come on and join us. And I love y'all all. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Peace, love, and joy.
I'm getting you.
Bye, mates.
Hey, brother. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good one, everyone.
Good stuff. You got it. Look at Monique.